Let's talk about vendor booths and sponsorship. One of the things that's cool about a live event is there's different ways that you can monetize the event. You can make money selling tickets to the event. You can make money selling product at the event. You can also make money through selling vendor booths and through selling sponsorship packages. So a vendor is somebody who purchased basically a spot. They purchase a table spot. And yes, a vendor is a sponsor, but you can have those separated. So sometimes at events, sponsors and vendors are kind of the same thing, and I recommend that they be separate though. So let me give you a heads up on what I would consider a vendor. That would be somebody who comes, they purchase a table, they set up their table, they get to lead generate, they get to sell product, and they pay to have a booth space. Now, those booth spaces, the price is going to vary depending on two things. One is your market. Some markets are very pricey and expensive. If I was going to do a booth in Las Vegas or New York City or LA, I would be expecting, or even San Francisco, I'd be expecting to pay a lot of money. If I'm going to do a booth in a mid-sized market like, Jacksonville, Florida, or Raleigh, North Carolina, or Salt Lake City, I'm going to be expecting to pay somewhere in the middle. If I'm looking at a small town event, I'm going to be expecting for a pretty cheap booth. And so price is going to definitely be affected by the market. If you're in a big, busy market, the booth prices will be more expensive. The second thing that's going to affect your booth price is going to be the size of the event. So an event where they're going to have 40,000 people come through, you're going to be paying a premium booth price. An event where they're expecting a couple hundred to come through, your booth price should be less expensive. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to, and this doesn't necessarily affect the price, but it should affect your decision on whether or not you're going to go forward with the booth, is who is there. So as a purchaser of a booth, if it's a really targeted market, then you're going to be more interested in going in. And so if you've got a really targeted niche, you can charge more. So for example, I have a good friend who used to run an event that was just specifically for women-owned business owners, women-owned businesses, and it was just for the owners. And they would only have like 100 people in a room, but because it was so niched and it was so targeted, they actually were able to charge more for their booth prices because people knew that the room was going to be full of every single person that they wanted to talk to. So that's how booths work. And what I recommend is if you're going to sell vendor booths, that you sell a number that matches how many people you're going to have there. I've been a vendor, like as my business, we've gone and purchased vendor booths at events that had 300 or 400 people, and they had sold 50 booths. And it was like, gosh, we've got 50 of us all competing for the exact same amount of people. That's a little bit of challenge. I've done it before actually as an event as well. We had an event that we did not schedule well. In fact, it's this event I'm going to introduce you to here too. We had about 45 to 50 booths. We didn't schedule it well. We scheduled it on a day that there was a two huge, massive events going on in Salt Lake City. And so our numbers ended up, we thought we were going to have in the thousands, and we ended up having like 400. And I'm not going to say it was bad. It was still a good event, but I like to match the number of booths having with the number of people, the number of booths I have. I like it to be in correspondence with the number of people coming, so my vendors feel like they get high value from being there. Okay, so let's talk about sponsorship. This is a media kit that I created for an event that I held a couple of years ago called the Celebration of Real Beauty. It was a super awesome event. And this is what I actually use to approach sponsors. So I showed them this is what we're about. We're about experience, education, and resources. And I used pictures of the event that we had done the time before. And then what I did is I introduced what is a celebration of real beauty. We are education, we're entertainment, we're experience, and we're resources. So I'm showing them this is what the whole thing is about. And then I told them a little bit more about what we do. What are some of the things that we are, like we're a trade show with a purpose. Trade show for women, or trade shows for women are not a new experience. Our event is the perfect marriage between a traditional trade show and a seminar. We are a Celebration of Real Beauty as an educational organization assisting women to value themselves. We're a connector. We seek out and promote businesses and individuals that can assist our members in the areas of physical and mental health, relationships, education, and beauty. We're a company with a national reach. We have members across the country participate in our monthly webinars, social media, and newsletters. We are holding events in 3 states in 2014 and are looking to take our events to cities across the nation. We're a resource for girls. So I'm helping them to understand who we are as an organization. So this is the flow. If we're going to go after sponsors, because we're looking at higher price points, this is a good flow. I'm not saying it's the only flow. I'm just saying it's a good flow. So show them who you are, then tell them who they are. And then this is who I am, because really, at the time, don't you guys miss my pixie cut? I miss my pixie cut. So at the time, I was the main headliner, and so I told them about who I was as well, because they really do want to buy into somebody who's got experience. Now we're moving into why do you want to partner with us? So here's our selling points for why they want to partner with us. Socially conscious marketing. Today's consumer wants to do business with companies that support positive causes in the community. Partnering with the Celebration of Real Beauty shows your clients that you are invested in helping women. Interaction, exposure, reach. And so we're going to talk to them about why should they partner with us and sell them on what that looks like. We gave them in the media so they can see where we were represented in the media. They can look us up a little bit more and see what types of publicity we're getting. We went over our demographics with them. Here's our primary market. Here's our secondary market and how we're benefiting them. Then we gave them the event details, and then we gave them the event lineup of who all of our speakers were going to be. Talk to them about the venue. And now we're looking at our actual sponsorship packages. So our headline sponsors, this is what we're giving our headline sponsors. They get exposure from the stage, connect with our guests from their exclusive vendor suite, interactive activities organized by a Celebration of Real Beauty, ongoing promotions throughout a Celebration of Real Beauty event, and then they get to choose from one of our 4 packages. And these were all the other traditional benefits. So this is the key with getting sponsors. You want to give them the traditional benefits. They expect to be listed as a headline sponsor. They expect to have logo positioning. They expect that they're going to get some stage time, that they're going to get an awesome vendor space, that they're going to get an ad in the program. They expect media mentions when we're on TV. They expect, gift bag placement. All those are kind of standard things. But what we did that was cool was we offered, a couple other not substandard, but unique things on here. So we agreed that throughout the course of the year, first of all, we agreed to collect contact information on their behalf and give it to them. So that was all the registrations of the event. Then we agreed to do 3 social media posts for their company and send out 2 email offers for their company throughout the course of the next year. Those are kind of unique. But this is where it gets really fun, and this is where I recommend that you get creative. So one of our options was the photo shoot package. And this is where our sponsors, and this is where we're getting creative. What can we do to create valuable interactions with sponsors? Because what sponsors want, when they sponsor an event, they want to get in there and really interact with the people. They want a hands-on touch experience where they can really connect with the public and not connect through just like, here's my name, here's my logo. They can get that type of placement in lots of places. So we got creative and we wanted to create more hands-on interactive events. So we had a photo shoot. So we do a Celebration of Real Beauty photo shoot. And that was one of the options, was they would have, the photo shoot would be done with their name in the background, which is huge for social sharing afterwards, because the social media, the pictures then get posted and everyone can share them. So that was one option. Another option was a scholarship package. So doing a scholarship competition where they pay $3,500 and a $1,000 scholarship goes out. And then girls would be given the challenge to promote healthy body image in their schools or communities. They would document their efforts and submit a 3 to 5 minute video and a report. And then we would choose, and the top 10 were then going to have a social voting where people could then vote for who they think deserved it. So again, it gives them a lot of exposure outside of just the event. They have the event exposure, and they also have exposure outside. Then there was the entertainment package where they get to support the concert. And there was also the charitable package where we were kind of doing a charity contest, just like similar to the scholarship one, but this was for charities that felt like their message was in line with ours. And again, we were going to do a contest. They were going to, film theirs and put it on a contest site. People would go and vote, which then gets a lot of people interacting with it. So I wanted to show this to you because I want you to see that, and then this talks about our vendor opportunities. What I wanted you to see is that I want you, in thinking about, am I going to do partnership and am I going to do vendor sales, to realize this is in itself a money generating machine, and it requires a lot of time and effort. So when I did this event, I had awesome packages. I was super excited about them. And I did not get a single sponsor. And let me tell you why. Because I didn't have enough manpower to have a sponsorship team and a vendor team. All we were able to do was fill I think we had just 48 or something like that. I mean, it was close to 50. But that was full time to fill that many vendors. And that generated a good amount of revenue each, because I believe we were charging about $300 a booth. So times that by 50, that's a good amount of revenue right there. We just didn't give ourselves the time to sell to the sponsors. Vendors are going to convert more quickly because you're asking for a lower price point. Sponsors are going to bring in more money, but they're going to take longer to reach out. It takes time to figure out even who inside of the organization do you need to talk to. That was something that it was like we just took us time and we hadn't budgeted for it. So if you're looking to do an event and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to bring in more money, so let's do sponsorship, I'm going to say you really need to think that through and figure out, do you have enough time? For example, if I'm going to do an event in 2 months, I know I don't have time to find sponsors. I do have enough time to find some vendors. You could go for a few vendors and put some people, at the entrances to my event, and make space for them. I could find vendors, but sponsorship takes a little bit more time. So if you're going to do an event, I would love for you to get it sponsored. I would love for you to have other people who are promoting this event, and they're partnering with you, they're helping cover expenses. I think that's a phenomenal thing to do. I just want you to understand that it's not a simple throw it together thing. It's almost like you're opening up a new revenue stream, and you're going to need to market the sponsorship packages. You're going to need to market the vendor booths, and understand that each one is going to take its own amount of time to put together. So you'll be marketing the event itself, you'll be marketing to the sponsors, and you'll be marketing vendor booth sales. You'll have 3 different marketing streams going on for one event. Is it worth it? Yes, if you have a team and you have time. And I would encourage you to look for, how could I make this happen, and how could I make it happen really, really well? Because it is, live events are powerful. And our first celebration of Real Beauty that we did, we had like 36 vendors. We had half the number of vendors. I think we had 30 vendors. I think we had 30 vendors, and we did secure 3 sponsors, because you look at it and it's like, okay, we had the time. Then when we doubled the amount of vendor booths that we wanted to sell, we just ran out of time for our sponsors. So I love the idea of you doing sponsors and vendors. I just also want you to understand what it takes. That's a lot of conversations. I sold almost every single vendor booth that we did. So that was a lot of time of me talking to vendors, telling them about the event, telling them what we were doing, getting their agreements in, getting their payments in. It just is management. So if you're looking for a way to create a bigger scale event, It's a great opportunity. If you're looking for simplicity, then I would probably recommend that you leave these out at this point and manage the basics of running your first event, and then consider this. Keep it in the back of your mind and don't close the door to it, because I think it's a great opportunity to get your event paid for and to make profits. Like, you can have the event actually be profitable before people even show up, and that is awesome. If you can get vendors and sponsorship to cover all the costs of your event and have some profits, and then sell tickets and then sell products at the event, hello, money making machine. Okay, so that is your video on sponsorship packages and vendor booths. Thanks, guys.